4 years ago this time, the 45th President of the United States, President Donald Trump, started working. There was a lot of expectations from his supporters and of course in general from the people in the United States and around the world. Today, after 4 years, President Donald Trump, as he finished his term, looking back and reflecting, yes, indeed, President Donald Trump is a bully. But I want to mention a few points when he was operating from the center of his strengths. I want to be fair. This is who I am. When Donald Trump, in his charisma, when he operates from the center of his strengths, he's a good salesperson. He's a good negotiator, a business person. From my observation, what he has a strong, I would say, is number one, he was blunt. He would say things that others wished they could say. Number two, he promised jobs back to America. Number three, they see him as a successful businessman. The three things equals a tough technician from anyone, man of the working people. He was rising off the success of the previous administration. The economy was rebound, but he continued to enhance it by bringing jobs back to America. Even though this had its own challenges and setbacks. With the new immigration law, some of the jobs start relocating to Canada. As I have few friends also from India who have been affected by the new immigration law. Have to go back to India when their visa expired. So some companies accommodated that, start outsourcing near neighboring countries, Canada. But he brought the job back to US, that I can give credit to President Donald Trump. Two other things Trump was good for, because the media loves to tear him apart. He gives them many opportunities. He kept media's attention on him and not on the soldiers' deaths in Afghanistan, Iraq, or Syria. He gave time and removed pressure from him. The second thing he is really good for, the country that's considered as an opponent to the United States, wants to attack, yet they are afraid of him, I would say. That's when I see Iran lost their general, they pick and choose their battle. Because Donald Trump do what he says. I used to follow news through the weekly Time magazine. I want to give you a historical and that happened in the past. In the Iran hostage crisis, the day Ronald Reagan was inaugurated as a president. The hostage was taken during Jimmy Carter administration for years by brutal people who held them. But Reagan made it clear during his campaign that we get the shit out of those people until the hostage released And the Iranians believed him because he was serious. And Reagan and Bush, Gaddafi was bombed repeatedly. The Soviet Union was brought to the brink of bankruptcy because of the arms race. Russia was afraid of US domination. The US bankruptcy paid and paid until they cannot pay anymore. They got bankrupt at the end because they were buying this weapon. Any person having their own confidence in operating from the center of their strengths, success can be achieved. But if any person or a leader start to make a bad move, like a chess in the chessboard, playing a chess, it's inevitable. What the person wants to achieve or the people's expectation from that person will eventually can dies out. So when we do something wrong, unless we pause, evaluate, and choose which direction we are going, that will be detrimental. Whether the goals that we have initially, the vision we have, the promise we have made to others, we will accomplish it or not. In the process, there are things President Donald Trump was good and accomplished, and there are also a lot not so good. This, in any human being, can be so. So leaders need to be focused on in order to keep their power, because they lose the power eventually if they do not, or unless they have surrounded by good people who can cover if they have areas that they cannot cover, or someone who can see if they make a bad move, who can consult them. No, this way of going this direction is not going to help to achieve the goal. One of the weaknesses, I would say, for President Donald Trump is to pick people like his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, in his leadership circle. Someone who cannot make the progress of your achievement. That someone, if you put in the position, someone that can drag you, eventually you will suffer. And if this thing is repetitive, it will damage a lot of things. So leadership is very important, and being surrounded with people who have the capability and the capacity, and someone who are able to do the task, to be a good team, who will advise you, someone not who will tell you about feelings, but real the situation. If you're doing wrong, just signal wrong. And if you don't have time to cover certain things, as a people to cover that. Because President Donald Trump have in his circle those strong leadership, he could have the chance to be elected the second round. These all other factors being, of course, as there are a lot of things wrongs has been done that could be avoided. So leadership, whom we pick around us, and the teamwork and domestically and across the board is important for our success. 4 years is just like that. It goes. Of course, it has been not an easy 4 years. But we appreciate people who are for their strengths. We also learn from the mistake of others when we think of tomorrow. So in general, when we kind of slip out of our way, if we go back to our own strengths to pick up and to do things the right way, would help us achieve. We might fail, but we can come back. But if we continue in the road that might not be going to lead us to achieve our goal, then eventually we can screw up ourselves. So this for all of us is a lesson season. We learn a lot of things. I personally, that's how I also see and learn